FM News Talk 97.1.
On demand audio. Allman in the Morning. Common Sense Radio.
You know, sometimes the ignorance is absolutely just astounding.
Sometimes your wealth of ignorance astounds me.
David had called earlier and then hung up. These people can't stay on the line. I mean, either get a different cell phone or have some balls. So anyway, he wants to confront me on the issue of whether Osama bin Laden was a soldier or not. And even if he was a soldier, wouldn't he be allowed to surrender? I'm like, dude, have you ever looked at any video on the live leak or whatever else where you see the Apache helicopters icing these guys from the sky? What do you think they're doing? Bullhorning the guys? All right, you got to surrender or they're going to shoot you with a 50 cal. It's like, no, they're not allowed to surrender. When they're identified as individuals who are potentially harming Americans, they are turned into liquid from the sky without any chance to surrender. It's like, come on, people. Honestly. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Roy Blunt is in Washington, D.C. on the way to the airport to come back to this beautiful state of Missouri. RoyBlunt.com. He is on the Select Senate Committee on Intelligence, by the way, and I'm sure you have been kind of on top of all this that's going on in relation to the recovery of items from the lair, as well as the moments leading up to the actual death of bin Laden. Senator Blunt, thanks for being with us, buddy.
Well, Jamie, it's good to be with you, and it's amazing that we could even find people who have sympathy for Osama bin Laden, who is a true fiend and criminal, and I think today Al Qaeda even verified that he is no longer with us, and the world is better off because of that. And, you know, one of the things that I think we really gained out of the president's decision to go in with people and assure that we got bin Laden and that justice was done is we also walked out with lots of information about bin Laden, and I think, at least we think we have that, and our analysts are going through that carefully right now, and we don't know what we have, and maybe just as interestingly, my guess is that the others in Al Qaeda don't know what we have either, and I think we hope it's as good as it might be, and they fear that it's as good as it might be. So the decision to do this instead of drop a bomb on the building or other things, I've thought for some times, and I've even said to you on occasion that I thought we were overusing the predator. You know, we were killing people, and by the way, with no chance to surrender. We were killing people with a predator, but that meant we never captured anybody and got the information that could be so helpful in saving lots of lives later, or got the material they had with them, even if they weren't brought back alive. And so I'm respectful of the president's decision here, and I think that we're going to benefit a lot from this. And more importantly, the symbol of the evil of Al Qaeda has been removed. We've thought for a long time, our intelligence sources have, that he wasn't in any kind of operational control of Al Qaeda. But there was no question that he continued to be the biggest symbol of defying freedom and democracy and a world where people could be different and still live peacefully together, and instead of his world where everybody has to be exactly the same, or you're not only expendable, you should be expended, I guess.
How tightly wound is the information flow to you guys on the Intelligence Committee? Because my concern is I didn't even want to hear that they were going to blow up a train on the anniversary of September 11th. I'm really afraid of the information that we're gleaning from the compound will be released publicly, and I just as soon not hear about it. I'd rather them not know what we have.
Well, I think you're right, Jamie, and there are lots of things that I know as a member of the Intelligence Committee that other members of the House and the Senate don't know. But there are some things like the plan to go in and get Obama on Sunday. I didn't know about that. I wouldn't have wanted to know about it. And in fact, my belief is that no member of Congress knew about it until the SEALs were either safely back on base or almost on base in in Afghanistan. And there are some things that you really we suffer if we let people know everything that's going on. And there's a proper role for congressional oversight, and I think we have had quite a bit of that since Sunday. I think we'll have quite a bit more as this information is analyzed. But I'm like you. I don't know that we gain a lot. In fact, we may risk a lot by letting too many people know what we know. As long as we don't say what we know, the other side has to believe we may know everything, and we want them to believe we may know everything as they try to move forward with their dastardly plots.
And a lot of it is psychological. I mean, there are people who are claiming that the release of the photo will incite the rest of the terrorists. But the fact of the matter is we have Pakistan with its day of rage today, and we haven't released the photo of bin Laden. What's your take on that in terms of the releasing of the photo?
Well, I actually don't think the photo matters a whole lot one way or another. I don't think anybody would be satisfied by the photo that's not satisfied by the announcement of the DNA evidence. If you're not satisfied with that, you could assume the photo was faked as well. On this mission, I'm not inclined to second guess the president. I think that the decision he made to go in, the decision they made to give the body the treatment of the Muslim faith before it was buried, and to bury it where there's no site or shrine left that others can go to and rally around. I thought all in all it was a good set of decisions, and I don't think all the president's recent decisions about the Middle East, Libya, Egypt, and other places have been all that good. But I think this one was, and I just don't think the photos matter, as I was saying all day yesterday. Just really, if the president decides that somehow we benefit from that, that's okay with me. But I don't think we benefit from these photos being out there. Anybody that doesn't believe the other evidence isn't going to believe the photo either.
Yeah. All right. On to this levee issue. We only have about a minute left here, but I've been incensed about the Army Corps of Engineers and its destruction of these productive farms in one of the most productive agricultural areas in Missouri for the sake of Cairo, Illinois. What's your take on it?
Well, I was too, and not for the sake of Cairo. I'm just not sure we did that much good for Cairo in the long run. And my discussion with General Walsh was that I did admit, I said nothing worse than an instant expert. But if this is going to be a crest of the river that lasts for days, that area was going to fill up anyway without destroying the levee and then having to spend millions of dollars to build the levee back and take that area out of production for a longer period of time. So we asked Congresswoman Emerson, Senator McCaskill and I were on the same side on this. We asked the Corps not to do this, to let the area fill up and relieve the river in the normal way it was about to anyway. But it was a 1937 plan, and in some sympathy with the general, his sworn job was to execute the plan.